I'm RJ. I'm a developer. I was a freelancer for a really long time. I quit my 9 to 5 in 2013, and I've been running a development agency with my business partner since 2018. In 2024, I launched my first two mobile apps and officially get to add Indie Hacker to a list of my titles. This video is going to be a brief recap of 2024 and what it was like designing, building, and launching my first two mobile apps. My client work has really always determined what it is that I'm working on. And occasionally I'll get the opportunity to work on something new when a project comes along. But those opportunities are really far and few between. Building mobile apps is something that I've always wanted to do, and it's something that I've always thought that I was capable of doing. I built web apps for myself and our clients in the past, but mobile apps specifically are something that I've always wanted to add to my arsenal. I had one client project in 2023 where I was able to build a small mobile app alongside the web version so that I knew I was at least capable of putting something together that would actually work. For years, I've been waving the flag of building my own projects and having more control of what I work on. But client work has kept me so busy that I never really justified spending any time on anything that wasn't coming from a paying client. About halfway through 2024, I decided I just couldn't wait any longer, and I decided that I was going to build and launch my first mobile app. And that's exactly what I did. My first app was Train Factor. Train Factor is an app for firearms owners that lets you set a goal for how frequently you want to train and then track your trainings as you progress towards your goal. I'm not a designer, but I feel like I've always had a good eye for design. And I knew that I was going to need a full design for the app before I jumped into building, or else I'd be spinning my wheels trying to build out functionality while also fleshing out a UI. I never really subscribed to that whole design in the browser philosophy, and for me, my brain works best when I have a completed design to build off of. I designed all plan screens in Figma, and I knew I wanted it to be custom and not necessarily use a UI kit. I'm a sucker for that electric green that Nike uses a lot. Between that and some sharp angles with a button and typography, I feel like the design was really on brand for me, and overall I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I built the back end of the app in Ruby on Rails, and this gave me a really nice place where I could manage the database and models, also building out an API that the mobile app itself could use. I used Flutter to build out the mobile app. It's what I used for my project back in 2023 that I mentioned, and it certainly was cool to be able to launch on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. There were a lot of firsts for me when it came to developing this app, specifically things like integrating with the native cameras on devices, being able to implement a semi-robust state management solution, and building out my own auth. I had fun making progress when I was building out the app, and it's always a great feeling when you're working on something especially new and things just start clicking for you. I did get hung up for a couple weeks on a state management issue, but other than that, there were no major issues that really took me a long time to overcome. Surprisingly, submitting to the App Store for the first time was more involved than I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of legal speak and decisions that you need to make, and a lot of them I did not understand. So I had a few conversations with ChatGPT to kind of help me get through that process. I did end up with a couple of rounds of rejection from Apple specifically, but they were nothing functionality related. They were all related to smaller things like make sure you have these permissions set properly or change this verbiage here. Once the app was fully approved and on the App Store, it was a really surreal feeling to see something that I had an idea for, I designed, I built, and to have it be live to where anybody in the world could download it. From start to finish, I ended up spending a total of 4 months on Train Factor. Train Factor launched at the beginning of October in 2024, and towards the end of that month, I already started work on my next app, which was Watch It. Luckily, I had the idea for the app already because my wife and I spend so much time compiling lists of movies that we want to watch and then struggle so much when it comes to actually picking what we want to watch. And that's exactly what Watch It solves for us. It lets us create and manage different lists to put our movies and TV shows in. And then when it's time to sit down and actually watch something, we can put all the items that we're interested in watching that night into the queue. And we can either vote on them to hopefully come up with a winner, but most of the time when we can't, we can actually just tell the app to say, hey, pick a winner for me and choose what we're watching. Getting started on Watch It was actually really easy because I already had the idea in my head for so long, and I knew specifically when it came to design that I wanted a really clean, almost Apple-like design style for it, but I also wanted to get this out faster than it took me for Train Factor, so I set a goal to try to get this design built and launched in 1 month. I ended up needing a month and a half in order to get it fully launched, but I actually feel really good about that turnaround time. The overall stack for the app is pretty much the same as Train Factor. There's Rails for the backend, Flutter for the mobile app, and in this particular app, I needed to integrate the movie database in order to pull in all the movie and TV show data. I launched this app on iOS first because I really wanted to get it into the hands of real users as quickly as I could. Launching this app was so different from Train Factor because it's an app that so many more people could use than just firearm owners. So it was really cool to get this app launched and then start to get actual feedback from users. I actually ended up getting a lot of really good feedback, both from family and just random users that I never got with Train Factor. I got a couple updates out pretty quickly based on user feedback after the app launched, and at the moment it's sitting in review with Google waiting to get launched on the Play Store. I still have a big feature that I want to add to the app along with monetizing it, but once I get that feature done, then it'll essentially be feature complete from what the original idea was. In 2024, I proved that I was capable of doing the things that I thought I could, and I did it twice. That's the important part for me. I made strides in 2024 in a few different areas of my life by being committed and staying consistent. Building that muscle of continually working on side projects is really important to me, and I started building that out in 2024. I'm not after crappy quality and volume just for the sake of numbers. I'm after repetition because honestly, I know that's the only way that I'm going to continue to improve and learn. It's how I've hit every other level of success in my life, and I know that the only way to hit the goals that I want to and have these projects be a major part of my income is going to come over time. I'd love that instant gratification and have it hit right off the bat, but I know I need to put the reps in, and it's going to be potentially years before something really clicks. 2025 doesn't contain a lot of specific goals, just a commitment to continually building out new products. I already have a few planned, and one thing that I'm going to be bringing over from 2024 into 2025 is building in public. Really sharing every step of the way in terms of design and building and decisions that I'm making, because that's something that I really enjoy seeing from other indie hackers too. Overall, I would definitely mark 2024 as a success. 2025, the plan is really the same. Let's keep those repetitions going, building and launching these side projects. I'm really excited for the few that I already have planned and really sharing them as well. So more videos like this and sharing progress online as I go. Here's to a successful 2025.